Hi there. Are you looking to experience more love, more peace, and more abundance in your life? Do you want to wake up each day with greater purpose and feel more fulfilled? If you are, then this is the place for you. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, North Jersey. Over the past 2 decades, our open and affirming community has created a safe space for all to come and be uplifted. I hope you enjoy watching, and if you like what you see, please visit us at cslnj.org.
Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, North Jersey. Great to have everybody here this morning. If you are new to us here, I am Reverend Neil Pinkman. I am the spiritual director for what we lovingly know as CSLNJ. And who we are, and we do this every week. I invite you to join in with us in reading in the chat. It's right there. Our declaration of who we are here at CSLNJ. We are an open and affirming science of mind community where the vibration of love lifts you, the wisdom of the ages inspires you, and the science of mind teaching empowers you. We believe that heaven and hell are states of consciousness that you experience in this lifetime, that you are the architect of your life, and that it is never too late to know true happiness. You can be happy right now. That's it. I see some happy. Give me more happy. Come on. Happy, happy, joy, joy. That's it. There you go, Sandy. Sandy's getting into it. She's right. Okay. Look at how happy Bill is, really. And Brian turned into the yellow disc. What can I tell you? So it is great to have everybody here. This is a wonderful community. We have a great day today. We have, thank you, Lynette, for starting us off with that gentle music. But as we all know, gentle is not necessarily the only word to describe Lynette's music. She can really, really deliver a song, and it's a wonderful experience. So thank you for being here. We also have with us today Reverend Dr. Robert Brzezinski. He's going to be our speaker today, and we'll learn more about him in the near future. But for any of you that are familiar with New Thought Media Network, that's him. He's the guy. He's the brains, the talent, the spirit, everything behind New Thought Media Network. And if you've been paying attention to where we tithe, that is one of the places that we as CSLNJ tithe. So it's an honor and a privilege to have him here today as well.
Oh, yes. I am opening. My heart is open to receive the goodness of the One. There is one life. This life is God's life. This life is perfect. This life is my life now. And so I open to receive. I open to the goodness of the One, the wisdom and love of the One, the peace of the One that is within me. This one omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent power is within each one of us. It is love, it is kindness, it is compassion, it is peace, it is love, it is generosity. So I welcome the presence of this one spirit to be with us today, to be with us always. And so I'm grateful for this beautiful Center for Spiritual Living, North Jersey, which has been my spiritual home for the longest time. I'm grateful for every single person here watching this live, for those who will watch the replay. I'm grateful for how far this community has come, grateful for the love that I feel in this community, grateful for all of the beauty and wisdom and laughter that each of us experiences when we are together. And so I bless this day. I bless this beautiful Sunday celebration and everyone whose hand played a part in bringing this about. I bless this world. I invite the presence of peace that begins within each one of us and that is spread abroad. I invite the presence of compassion and kindness and open-mindedness. And I deny anything that would come against this one power, that would try to come against this one power, because there's only one power. And so I release this word into the perfect law, this law which always says yes. I allow it to be so. Please close with me by saying, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Reverend Evelyn. And thank you, Lynette, for the chant. Now we'll go into our monthly, or yearly, I should say, affirmation. That is also now in the chat, and you can also read that along with me. I awaken today with the courage to see myself clearly and love myself wholly, as I am and as I am not. I open my heart to curiosity, trusting that every question leads me deeper into truth. I embrace conscious evolution, knowing that life is always expanding through me. I release what no longer serves and boldly claim my divine power. I'm awake, I am courageous, and I am fully alive to the brilliance of my becoming. And that is something as our year this year, Dr. Robert, is the audacity to awaken. So that's why our affirmation is geared towards that. Right now, let's go back to Reverend Evelyn for our reading.
I am a center in the divine mind, a point of God-conscious life, truth, and action. My affairs are divinely guided and guarded into right action, into correct results. Everything I do, say, or think is stimulated by the truth. There is a power in this word that I speak because it is of the truth, and it is the truth. There is perfect and continuous right action in my life and my affairs. All belief in wrong action is dispelled and made negative. Right action alone has power, and right action is power, and power is God, the living Spirit Almighty. This Spirit animates everything that I do, say, or think. Ideas come to me daily, and these ideas are divine ideas. They direct me and sustain me without effort. I am continuously directed. I am compelled to do the right thing at the right time, to say the right word at the right time, to follow the right course at all times. All suggestion of age, poverty, limitation, or unhappiness is uprooted from my mind and cannot gain entrance to my thought. I am happy, well, and filled with perfect life. I live in the spirit of truth and am conscious that the spirit of truth lives in me. My word is the law unto its own manifestation and will bring to me or cause me to be brought to its fulfillment. There is no unbelief, no doubt, no uncertainty. I know and I know that I know. Let every thought of doubt vanish from my mind, that I may know the truth, and the truth may make me free.
Thank you. And it's now time for our peace practice again, and we'll keep at it until we get it, till we get there, till there's peace. We're going to have to keep at it and keep at it. And I haven't read it in a bit, but I will lead in with what Ernest Holmes has said. From your invisible power, act as though peace already possessed your soul, and it will possess it. Act as though peace already emanated from your spirit, and it will emanate from it. Speak peace into confusion, and your peace will heal that confusion. This healing power is to be used and not merely believed in. And I think that last sentence applies to everything we do at our center in this teaching, and that is, this healing power is to be used and not just believed in. So, if you will, please repeat after me. I am the peace I wish to see. I know this peace for my family. I know this peace for my community. My community knows this peace for my country. And my community knows this peace for the world. All right, it's time. I usually say this about me, but I can say this about this gentleman too. Now it's time for something completely different. And Robert, we've known Robert, Michelle, and I for a while now. I guess it has been quite a while. And what I love about Robert, we'll get to all of his details and credentials, which are significant. But you know, there's some people you just appreciate because of how strongly they believe what they believe, and that they're also troublemakers. And Robert is a beautiful troublemaker. I love the way he stirs conversations and he stirs activity, and you know, his way of making things happen. And I will, as a matter of fact, I'll put it in right now into the chat. This is where you can learn more about Reverend Dr. Robert Brzezinski and what he does. And for me, one of the biggest problems I've had in the science of mind movement, in New Thought in general, was that we couldn't get the word out there. That nobody was, you know, I mean, even to this day, if you listen to things from CSL's home office, if the word marketing pops up, it's kind of like, ooh, they said that word, but they don't do anything about it. Robert did, and he started New Thought Media Network. How long ago, Robert?
6 years now.
6 years, and it's been wonderful to get him involved now with Anton, like we are members of Anton at this point as well. His activity with Anton and now his activity with Emerson. But I'll tell you that he is a spiritual leader, speaker, and visionary educator working at the intersection of New Thought media and contemporary spiritual formation. He currently serves as the spiritual and creative director of the New Thought Media Network, where he's helping reimagine how spiritual ideas are shared, lived, and embodied in a rapidly changing world. In addition to his media work, he serves on the board of directors of the affiliated New Thought Network. For those of you that don't know, that's Anton, what we refer to as Anton. And the executive board of the International New Thought Alliance and the board of regents for Emerson Theological Institute. He is deeply committed to the evolution of spiritual community and understands virtual ministry as a form of spiritual activism, one that meets people where they are and invites them into lives shaped by intention, courage, and possibility, for sure. As a teacher, coach, and consultant, he is known for translating timeless New Thought principles into language that is accessible, grounded, and relevant. Amen. while never losing sight of the depth and the mystery at the heart of the spiritual path. His work consistently calls people beyond abstract belief into lived practice, as we mentioned just a minute ago, embodied awareness, and the ongoing work of becoming more fully human. Please welcome Reverend Dr. Robert Brzezinski.
Thank you. Thank you, Neil, Reverend Neil, and thank you, Reverend Evelyn, and thank you, Lynette, and thank you to every one of you that is investing a little bit of your time here this morning on a Sunday morning. It's a gorgeous day here in Colorado, so I hope it is a gorgeous day there as well. My local town here, we have our annual kite festival later today, and it's right across the street from where we live, and so we get to see the sky filled and sometimes the trees around the neighborhood filled with all kinds of colorful kites. So again, I hope you have a great day where out there today. As a born and raised Jersey boy, it feels kind of good to be with you all, and I'm really grateful to be with you, but that's a whole nother story. What I want to talk to you about today is standing in the fire of transformation. And in New Thought, we talk a lot about transformation, but we don't always talk about what it feels like to stay in it when it stops being comfortable. Now, transformation at its basic understanding is that we move from one state to another state. In New Thought, we talk about consciousness, moving from one state of consciousness to another. Moving from the state of consciousness that was our opening meditation to the state of consciousness that is paying attention to what we're doing. Well, that can be rather comfortable, but what I'm interested in right now is what it's like when it's not comfortable. Not the idea of what transformation is, or even the outcome of the transformation, but the actual lived experience of being inside it while the transformation is still unfolding. Because honestly, what I've seen is that's where most people start to pull away or try to rush through it. Our talk today is standing in the fire of transformation, not sprinting through it, not trying to get to the other side as quickly as I can, but actually being with the experience of what transformation is and how it's happening in our lives. So, what I want to offer today is an invitation, again, not to understand transformation in a different way or have some buzzwords around how to describe it, but to stay present within whatever transformation you may be experiencing, to stay present in it. And the reason for this is the reason all of this is so challenging is because transformation doesn't always feel like growth. It often feels like disruption. Things are going wrong. Things aren't working the way I want them to work. Things are happening that maybe I don't really understand. In New Thought, over the last couple of years, I've noticed that we've started to take a much deeper look at our nervous system. And when we talk about transformation, I recognize that the nervous system is wired for safety. We've all probably heard some story about fight or flight. The nervous system is wired for safety, but not necessarily wired for growth. So even if we feel aligned with the change that's happening in our lives, even if it's not something being forced upon us, but something we've chosen, that kind of growth often feels really, really disruptive. When the body perceives a threat, even in the midst of something meaningful, our instinct is not to stay with it, but to move away from it. And as I've mentioned, our idea today is how do we stand in the midst of it? So if our instinct is to escape, here we are at that fight or flight thing again. If our impulse is to avoid discomfort, can we force ourselves? Can we encourage ourselves? How do we stay with it through the depths of the transformation? If we think about it, and I'm going to invite you today to bring into your own mind. Now, I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand and share any of this with the room, so don't worry. But bring to mind a transformation, and not the fun type, something that didn't feel good. Right now in my family, we have two now adult children who are making their first moves out of the house. That might be, well, for some of us, that might be a cause of celebration. And for some of us, if we have had that experience, you might remember it as a transition of grief, of a sense of loss. As much as I would rather my kids not be making noise when they come home at night, there is some comfort in knowing that they've made it home. And there is a great sense of connection when we bump into each other in the kitchen and start a spontaneous conversation. It's kind of nice that we're getting past the teenage years. I can say that for sure. And so transformation can take all kinds of different forms. And again, our instinct is to escape, but the invitation is to stay. Because it is in the staying, in that standing in place, where real epiphanies happen, where real joy is allowed to express itself, where conversations are happening that we might not have had normally. So think about some of these transitions in your own life. Perhaps it was leaving a job or a relationship, somewhere where maybe you knew it was coming, or maybe it just kind of showed up one day and you had no idea it was coming. If our nature is to run, then it feels unnatural to stick with it. I've had a fairly recent experience of all this, and this isn't so abstract for me right now. About 4 months ago, 5 months ago now or so, actually, um, my wife needed to make a trip back east with her mother. Needed to take a drive back east. And her mom's not flying all that well, and they have a puppy dog. So the decision was made to rent a car, and she would rent a car and drive back east and then fly home. And there was something in me that was stirring already, something I didn't really want to talk about, and something I didn't really want to admit. And she takes her trip home. Now, this is early December. So, my birthday, I'm a Sagittarius by a couple of days. My birthday is December 20th. Go Fire Horse. And I'm expecting her to be home for my birthday and for the holidays and all that. And then I got a phone call. And she was very clear. My habit, my addiction to marijuana would need to end if she were coming home. Now, that's not the kind of transformation you really anticipate, is it? In retrospect, I can look back and I can see where I knew she wasn't happy with my behaviors, with my addiction. I knew that I had been hearing the gentle nudge of the divine that the time was coming to let go. But the humanness, well, I was kind of attached, very attached. Not so much to what to what the high gave me. Because let's be honest, after 40 years, it wasn't the same as it was when I was a young man running around the highways and byways of New Jersey. It had become a form of escape. It had become a way to hide. It had become a way to prepare for a tough meeting or a way to recover from something I didn't like. The real work in this was not in the actual physical process of quitting. And truthfully, by some great help with, I had a lot of lonely nights in early December to play with AI and have deep conversations with my AI, which I also like to refer to as absolute intelligence. And my AI and I developed a program of exercise. I took a gym membership, got back into the gym after many, many years. I started using supplements and developed a supplement regimen and started to eat even a little more. And, as a single guy and your wife's away and I'm going to eat healthy, that was a surprise and a half. But what I've come to understand in all of this is the transformations of our lives are not meant to be done in isolation. But I was in isolation. It wasn't something I could really lean on my kids to help me through. And it wasn't something I was ready to admit to my spiritual colleagues. So I needed to navigate this in a way where I forced myself to stand in it. And the physical experience of it all was not the difficult part. Not at all. I set a goal. I tapered myself off. I had a big party the night before my birthday. And I made sure that when the clock struck midnight and I turned 59, that I was done, that the house was clean, and I was on my journey. Now, I won't pretend that it was all rainbows and unicorns either. There were a few times where I got off of a meeting or a phone call and thought, man, I really could use a joint right now. But I didn't. I stood in the fire and I let the fire transform me. Now, that transformation deepens eventually when we do allow ourselves to be seen. So I do have a few sponsors, if you will, to borrow a little bit of language from the 12-step movement. I'm not attending meetings. I don't have a sponsor. I'm not standing up in front of groups of people and confessing all my sins and making amends to everybody I might have shared a bowl with over the years. But I did have people I could rely on and that I could call and say, man, I really want to go out into the garage right now. And they would talk me back. It was all about staying present, recognizing that I didn't need to run or to hide from what was real in my life, but to stay present to what is my life. Presence is the practice of staying with what is, not just showing up, but staying with what is real. Not trying to rush through it, not trying to fix it, not trying to escape it all. I've given a number of talks already this year that focus on the difference or the combination of performance versus presence. I can perform pretty well, even when I was higher than a kite. But could I really be present with people? Could I really be present with my own work and my own ministry? And that nudge that I kept hearing from the divine wasn't so much just let go of this stuff, not stop smoking, quit doing that. The nudge was that, Robert, you need to wake up. There's something more here for you. There's bigger roles for you to fill. There's a bigger playground for you to play in. And what I know, not everyone here in this room today hears that same thing, but someone does. Someone in this room right now is hearing that divine voice saying, yeah, there's a bigger something I'm here to do too. And it might not be THC, and it might not be alcohol, and it might not be sex, and it might not be whatever we call addictions these days. It might just be a willingness to say, yeah, I'm done playing small. I'm done pretending. I'm ready to step in to the truth as I know it. So we're in, I believe, a process of becoming. I know I am. Becoming more than I ever imagined. Becoming more than others have seen me. And I found that there's a real difference between knowing the truth and being so saturated in the truth that the fear simply has no room to take root. Knowing the truth to such a degree that there is no room for fear to take root in our lives. And if there's no roots, there's no flowers, there's no plants, there's no tree standing between me and what I desire. And in case anybody's forgotten, the truth is you are a divine emanation of God. You are absolutely vital to the evolution of human consciousness. And we don't have to look much farther than the screens in front of us or out the window to see that humanity is going through a great evolutionary shift right now. Who you are makes a difference. How you show up makes a difference. How you show up at the supermarket matters. How you show up driving a car matters. How you show up is absolutely vital to the evolution of human consciousness. See, the fire is not here to destroy us. The fire is not here to burn us. The fire is not here to take us down. The fire is here to help us expand our capacity to live, to love, and to lead from the new thought that is within us. The image of the phoenix comes to mind. And the phoenix dies in a fire to be reborn as fire. Earlier, I used that line, go fire horse, right? This is the year of the fire horse. I was born in 1966, the last time there was a year of the fire horse. I got clean on my birthday as the new year of the fire horse begins. So this is really real for me. I mean, really real for me. And I know there is that within you that is really real for you right now. I can't imagine that it's the same thing I'm going through, but I can imagine that we can look side to side and see each other walking through it, standing in it. not rushing to hide, not rushing to try to show up as performance, but willing to stand in the fire together. The fire is not here to destroy us. It is here to expand our capacity to live, to love, and to lead. So I'm still in the process. I imagine I forever will be at this point. And what I'm discovering is that I'm more willing to stay in this process. Because as I stay, as I stand in the truth, as I ensure there is nowhere for fear to take root, then life is opening up in ways I would never have planned, that I could not have seen coming. I will say that it does mean my to-do list has gotten an awful lot longer in the last few months. But that's the good work. And I believe that's the type of work that we're all here to do. To be the clean conduit of divine truth. That is who you are. And that is who this community is. I hear a lot lately about the decline of spiritual community. And all the big research firms tell us how churches are shrinking and religion is pulling back and people are pushing against, and we've got this concept of spiritual but not religious. I want to get rid of that. I want to get rid of that completely. Because I fully believe that there is anything in this world that we ought to be religious about, it is our spirituality. If there's anything we ought to be religious about, I believe it is New Thought. It is how we bring this truth into the world, how we choose to be the divine in human form, how we choose to show up in traffic, at the supermarket, at the kite festival, but most especially in our spiritual communities. CSL North Jersey, you are a strong, strong community in the New Thought movement. You have strong leaders. You have conscious leaders. And what I'm learning and what I'm coming to know is that you have a depth of a consciousness, a resource of consciousness about you that doesn't have letters before their name or letters behind their name, but has a commitment, I believe, to stand in the fire. And that's how we transform humanity. That's how we serve the transformation that we are in the midst of. So we've said it for years that we are the ones we've been waiting for. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of waiting. We are the ones that are doing the work. So let's get about it. What do you say? And it all starts in prayer. So if you're in a safe space to close your eyes, I invite you to please do so. Join me upstairs. Join me in consciousness. Join me in the midst of this transformation as we come together to recognize the one. One power, one presence, one infinite intelligence that moves and breathes and has its being as all of life. That one self-existent cause that is forever taking on form and abandoning that form in order to take on new form. the oneness that is love and light and beauty and truth and health and wealth and well-being and abundance and prosperity and compassion and joy and love. And did I mention love? It is the oneness that is everything and the no thing. It is the fire. It is the transformation. It is that deep sense of assurance that everything is happening exactly as it must for the highest and the best of everyone involved. It is the oneness. It is that deep sense of assurance that who you are makes a difference, that we are all divine emanations of God's life, that how you show up is absolutely vital to the evolution of human consciousness. It is that deep, deep knowing that deeply we are one. And in our oneness, we bring forth miracles. We bring forth music, we bring forth poetry, we bring forth dance, and we bring forth a consciousness that is here as the demonstration of bringing the divine into human form. That is who we are as individuals, as communities, in the organizations that we belong to and that we serve, in the corporations and the companies that we support and we work with, and that we financially serve and support, in all the ways that we share our gifts and our skills and our talents, and yes, our dollars as well, without concern, without restriction, without judgment, but with love. With a love that burns so deeply it transforms everything. I can see it. I can see that vision of a world that works for all, a world that works for all life, not just my life, not just the people I know, not just the people I understand or agree with or I vote like, but the world that works for all life. The creepy, crawly creatures and the furry creatures, the humans that I don't know and I don't understand, even those I don't agree with. We are creating a world that works for all. And that is enough. So I am in a space of gratitude, deep gratitude for each one here, for the commitment, the silent commitment I can hear echoing across the cosmos of reality, of consciousness. Deeply grateful that in each of our own ways we have said yes to the deeper calling of our soul, to our soul's purpose, and our life's mission, creating a world that works for all. Most especially, I'm grateful to know God's got this, that the divine is already on the job, that the universal principle of creation is already operating, that this word cannot be returned void or unfulfilled, that the divine is already aligning all the resources, all the necessary, everything necessary, resources, people, connections, finances, everything is lining up to make this so. And so I invite you to join me in an affirmation of this truth as we say together. And so it is. And so it is.
And so it is. And thank you, Dr. Robert. I once again, I find a lot of the same thoughts, ideas, beliefs in what you say, and I do think that we have gotten away from some things that might be important when we talk about religion or church or centers or some of the languaging that we do, and because to me, in looking back, our organization is a life church. You know, we it's all about life, not just the human part of it, but life in general and how we experience it, and the fact that heaven and hell are states of consciousness that we experience in this lifetime. So, this, again, I appreciate the work that you do in trying to get new thought introduced out there in a greater way. And I think we need to find a different way of expressing it, like you just said. I think that's really important. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And again, in the chat is the way to contact Dr. Robert. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. But you know what? I'll just put that back in there again for anybody who might have come after I had posted that before. So this is where you can follow Dr. Robert and New Thought Media Network. And now it is time for our conscious giving affirmation and for our appreciation and our gratitude for what we have here and those that have created it, because it's been a lot of people over a long period of time, and we are always grateful for everything everybody contributes, whether it's money, time, effort, whatever it is. You've brought us again, and if you notice, I also put in the pledge information that we like to know just for our own budgeting reasons. Thank you for those 90+% of you who keep and actually meet your pledge. That's fantastic. So you're what got us here. You're what's going to keep us here. You're the reason why we're here. It's all about you. You, and even you over there. Yeah, you two down there in the corner. Right, yeah, sure. So, if you will, please read with me our conscious giving affirmation. I bless this gift that I give today. I give this gift from my heart, and I give it mindfully. May my gift go further to heal, prosper, and bless this center and all who enter. I accept all good that comes as a result of this flow, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. And what else is? I'll tell you what else is that, again, we've got a fantastic month of people who are bringing us incredible lessons. Next week, which would be the 19th, we will be in person and on Zoom. And that will be with our own Tony Hamilton telling us about getting intimate with your personal power. And Ernest Holmes has an interesting perspective, and you will see that in the newsletters coming out this week. You will see that there is a piece I put in there from Ernest Holmes about your personal power. You want to party? Let's party. You guys are so good at partying. You have over the years. Sometimes you've partied a little too much. I've noticed that. Not me, of course. Never me. But we're going to have another party, another get-together. This one's going to be at Edna's house. So everybody go to Edna's. Well, not right now. Don't leave yet. Stay here until we finish. Don't even go today, because her party is going to be on May 2nd. Another of our get-togethers, just to have the fun of getting together as a community and laughing, having a good time, and get inspired by one another. So that is, and as a matter of fact, all this will be in our publications, but I will put in there, for those of you who may want to see it now, specifically the information on that. As I have mentioned before, May 17th, we're going to have a town hall meeting about our new bylaws. It was time, after 24 years, to get them updated and get them so that they more relate to where we are as a community at this point. Those are available on our website. They're available in the sanctuary next week on Sunday, so that you could take a look at them And you will be receiving an email 2 weeks before our town hall meeting that has all that information for you as well. We do have really great, like Dr. Robert today speaking, and we had Reverend Michelle last week speaking. Next week we have Tony, as I mentioned, and then April 26th we have Reverend Joel with Your Life is Your Path. So lots of good ways to get inspired, broaden your consciousness, and get really tuned in, like we did today with Dr. Robert for his lesson today. Also, May 31st, remember, it's gonna be Youth Day, where we're gonna have the Utes, as they say, the Utes that grew up in our center, hopefully come back, and you see how much taller they are now than they were 20 years ago. So that's going to be a fantastic opportunity, and that's an in-person one on May 31st. I think that about covers everything that I needed to say. And again, very grateful for everybody being here.
For Spiritual Living North Jersey, we believe in empowering individuals to discover their inner strength and their connection to divine life. Through our supportive community, transformative workshops, and uplifting services, we provide a safe space for personal growth and spiritual exploration. Whether you're seeking clarity, healing, or a deeper understanding of life's mysteries, our center offers practical tools and timeless wisdom to help you thrive. Join us in creating a more diverse, compassionate, and kind world. Your world, the way you want to create it.